Good morning. I want to start it like this. Cheers. Hope everyone's doing okay. Yes, it's a Sunday morning. And I'm feeling good. Yes, people. Some nice music to start my morning here. So it's Sunday, and I'm back because I'm enjoying the experience. Still referencing the word recovery, because indeed I am still, but every day is better. Still a bit of a cough, but back on my regimen, because I've done it before and then I forget. But St. John's wort, echinacea golden seal. I forget. I just took my vitamins. Fish oil, several others. They do make a difference. Cheers. And I tried a different blend of coffee. It was the coffee. I'm gonna have to throw that other bag out. This is a breakfast blend, and it tastes much better. But I think I might have broken my coffee habit, which is fine with me. Really been enjoying drinking water and juice instead. So the primary focus of the videos has always been music, and it will continue to be, plus whatever is on my mind. And yesterday was International Women's Day, so I played a couple of records with that in mind. And then I have some other stuff down here to show. And I want to applaud the people of Omaha. They had a good 2-hour protest yesterday regarding using it was a women's organization who piggybacked protesting Trump on celebrating International Women's Day, our bodies, our rights, stuff like that, and then others joined, and it was I wasn't feeling up for being standing out in the cold, but I applaud my brothers and sisters worldwide who are speaking out and protesting against oligarchy, hegemony, and pure, hateful, wrong-minded, wrong-thinking politicians and leaders. I celebrate my brothers and sisters in standing up to that madness. So yesterday, for International Women's Day, I played a couple of records with that in mind. And I started with Janelle Monae's Arch Android. This is a bomb album, and she is a major talent. I'm not collecting her, but I've seen her live twice. Tried to meet her, and it was crazy. I've told the story. But she is amazingly talented, and this is a really killer album. It's pop. It's pop music. She even called her label Wonderland. That's a reference to Susie and the Banshees. Susie's label is Wonderland. This album is killer. And I love knowing that she's from Kansas City, just down the road from Omaha. And Cold War. If you haven't heard that track by her, geez, a badass musical track, but also very topical. This is a Cold War, and the way she sings it, it's like, you better listen to this woman. What else did I play for International Women's Day? Just a bit of this, but this is an absolute classic album. Joni Mitchell Hejira. I have most of her albums. I've got all the classic albums, originals of them too, mostly. But this, and again, first thing that pops up is Jaco Pastorius when you post it, because I posted it yesterday. But I love the way that she talks to you, the way that she writes words as well as music. Her original chord phrasing, the way that she tunes the guitar. She is a cut above one of the greatest artists ever, Joni Mitchell. And then another one I played, and this is one I played back when I was bedridden on CD, but this is one of my top female artists of all time, Akiko Yano from Japan. Once married to Sakamoto, how did he let this woman go? Gohanga Dekitayo. I forget the translation. I've looked it up several times. I always forget. This album is wonderful. I love her voice. It's an acquired taste. It's kind of nasally. And there's also a girlishness to it when she sings up tempo, happy stuff. She sounds almost childlike. And the picture kind of shows her nature. She seems like such a sweet person. And this album is the bomb. She's got YMO, Yellow Magic Orchestra, as her backing band, plus members of the band Japan. David Sylvian even. Japanese pressing on the Japan Records label. Akiko Yano is one of my favorite artists of all time. And this is just, some of this, it's kind of like Roy Ayers, where it changes the atmosphere. It makes it sunny. Things get brighter. Quite literally, while this is playing, I'll put that away later. If you've never heard of Akiko Yano, and she's a brilliant pianist too, classically trained. Those were my plays for an International Women's Day. Salute. I started my day yesterday on a real high. Just a good day. Just feeling more and more healthy, which is a wonderful thing. And I put this on, Bobby Hutcherson, Un Poco Loco. I love the cover, but more importantly, this is a sweet, sweet jazz rock album. Vibraphone is Bobby Hutcherson. This is so nice. And it's like the Roy Ayers thing. They both play vibes, but they don't sound like each other at all in their playing or the music that they choose. But this is really good with John Abercrombie, George Cables, Pete Erskine on drums. You know what I'm saying? Chuck DeMonico on bass. Un Poco Loco. On the major label Columbia. Oh, that reminds me. I watched some more documentaries yesterday. One on Curtis Mayfield, there ought to be a monument to Curtis Mayfield. He was such a brave man to start to write topically in the 60s and really helped the civil rights movement with People Get Ready and This Is My Country, Mighty Mighty Spade and Whitey. And then even going back to the Impressions, that's when it started with People Get Ready. Um, Wonderful man. A tragedy how he was paralyzed when a lighting truss fell on him while he was performing. Crazy, huh? But also watching the documentary, so many things about how the civil rights movement and the spirit of black people was dampened after the murders of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X on purpose. And it's like people will dispute this, but the influx of heroin and hard drugs into the black community, interestingly, after people started to rise up, it was like somatize these inward people, governments, rich white people who wanted to continue to have the domination that we see today, totally embodied in the racist Republican Democrat axis in the White House with Trump at the head, DEI, and all this erasure of language that was attempting to right the wrongs of racism, institutional racism, the financial advantage of whites over blacks. That was a big part of the documentary, and it's all unfortunately true. And there's a lot of white people who just don't want to hear about it and want to act like it's. What are you talking about? Don't come to me like that. Get up off your white ass and go look at history without your rose-colored glasses. Things are bad, and they need to change for the better, and they're changing for the worse, and I will not be silent. I will not be silent. A couple more things that got played, and then I been thinking about Prog, and I just, I pulled one group, but I've been thinking about pulling a bunch of Prog just to share. That fellow who made the 8 Prog bands that he thought were obscure, he made a second one, and that's what kind of inspires my thinking. In his second video, he did show a couple bands that I don't have, but don't necessarily would want. One was Bodkin. Don't necessarily know that I would want to bother to finding their records. But yes, this morning, I put this on. This David Linton, musician, I think he's a musicologist. We're friends on Facebook. We actually have exchanges about music a little bit, not deep conversations. But this is called Orchesography. It came out in the 80s, right? Yeah, 85, 86. And this involves some commission work that he did for a dance company. It's on the Neutral label. Sakrapa there is based on a sample of the opening woodwinds of Le Sacre du Printemps, Rite of Spring by Stravinsky, to great effect. It does sound a little bit dated with some of the electronic drum patterns that he uses on here, but overall this is really quite good and interesting and different. I love different. Orchesography. And then this came through finally. Been waiting for this, literally, for this to settle. And like, oh, okay, there it is. Which came out in 2023. London Brew. Sessions based on the spirit of Miles Davis's Bitches Brew. They're not trying to sound like Bitches Brew at all. But I like that. But the notes explain, and it's an interesting cross-section of musicians, and it came into perspective last night. This is very good. Nubia Garcia is on here. My long-distance friend, Raven Bush, Kate Bush's nephew, from the band Sid Arthur is on here, plus other folks, Tom Herbert. David Okumu, Tom Skinner. This is good. It kind of takes its time finding its feet. Nice color. But once it gets settled in, it's like, okay, you are grooving. This is good. London Brew. Was real happy for that to finally come through, because at first I was underwhelmed. I was just thinking, come on, y'all, you spent all this time and that's all you can do? They were in no hurry to get it rolling. A couple things from the night plays. I'll call that a series now. Plus something that was sitting on my shelves out there and I said, why do I still have this? I like this. Sound 5 Heavy Transit EP. This is probably 90s. It's because it's got that, I forget how to describe it already, but 1999. But yeah, kind of groove, not house quite. Sound 5, and anyone have this besides me? You leave a note, comment about what you have to say about it. But I had some good listens last night. Megabyte, another innovative communication release. Klaus Schultz label. It's a good one. Most of what's on there I really like. And this was pleasant. This is electronic based, almost like modern easy listening. But modern easy listening. This is really melodic and pleasant. Really enjoyed this last night. This kept me awake because I just like it so much. I have another one of theirs on vinyl. Megabyte. What's the name of this one? Power Play. Last thing that I heard before getting up this morning was Heidi Berry. Heidi Berry on 4AD. I loved the original 4AD aesthetic. And she fit. Because she's almost sounds kind of folk. A Sandy Denny, but more kind of muted and mysterious kind of approach. I love her vibrato and the timbre of her voice. And these songs are about love, but her delivery and the musical settings are just spot on. Spot on. Really good. Another one that was more, I did actually fall asleep listening to this, but this is Bill O'Connell piano, voices, almost jazzy. It's breezy in its feel. The cover, water, nature, sunshine. I'm all for beauty in my life and in my ears, and this is wonderful. You know, you could call it easy listening. Remember, you old folks like me remember the easy listening back in the 50s and 60s, and some of that stuff was just terrible for my taste. It was good music making, but like Ray Conniff and Bert Kaempfert and some of that stuff, it was just like wallpaper and too white. Okay, I think most of you intelligent people understand what I mean when I'm saying that. People who get offended are just fucking stupid and in denial about how weird American culture has been throughout the decades because of white dominance, white privilege. Yeah, I throw it up in your face every time because it will never change, but it should. There's my word, should. It should change. This is a wonderful album with Bill O'Connell. It's got Charles Fambrough on bass, among other people, okay? Bashiri Johnson on percussion. Milton Cardona on additional percussion. This is killer, if you see it, like in dollars, and that's probably where you would find this nowadays. marked down rack of CDs. This is really good. Bill O'Connell voices. Wonderful. This I had a good experience with finally, because when I first got this back in the 90s, it was very nebulous and kind of seemed like it would go so dark that it would be like, taking this off. But last night I listened to it all the way through. Quite a journey. This is quite a piece of work. Lightwave, Mundus Subterraneus. This is a group from Europe that at this time included Paul Haslinger, Ex-Tangerine Dream. This is some deep, deep electronic work. There's also natural instruments like violin involved here. But I didn't read all the, there's a tract here about what's going on here. Probably explains it really well. This is really quite a work. And sonically, it kept me awake because of the stereo field. Just really enveloping, and nothing shocking, but things happen the way they move through the stereo field. There's that's how it would hit me. And it's like, wow. Lightwave. First time I listened to it all the way through. Just fantastic. And the last thing I'll show you is another one. I think this guy sent it to me. Someone sent this to me, and I'm so glad they did, because this is, in the cluster in Eno vein of ambient electronic works, and this is fantastic. Tor Lundvall, Insect Wings, Leaf Matter, and Broken Twigs. Early ambient recordings, 1991-94. He's a visual artist as well, and that's his painting. That's one of his paintings. This was just, wow. Again, another highly recommended for you folks that enjoy ambient. And it's not just ambient. It's like, this is real good. And it doesn't sound like cluster and Eno, but you can hear the parallel, but he's really good at it. This is very, very good. That's what I've been enjoying doing, is sharing the way the music hits me. It's just music is wonderful. It's such a balm in these times. Need it so bad. I do check into the international news. I was just looking to see where the cyclone didn't, down in Australia, it got downgraded from a cyclone, but still some pretty devastating weather. And along those lines, I'm always thinking about people in the world and hoping, because the effects of climate change are so obvious. And as always, thinking ahead, hoping to get through the different seasons this year without the weather destroying my house, my neighborhood, my town. Hope it doesn't do it to yours too. But I'm so realistically aware that that's where we're at. As the seasons change, the weather is a motherfucker. Okay? Excuse me. It's getting better. So with regard to thinking about showing some prog, I just went out and looked in my A's, and the first thing that popped up to show was the French band Ange. Caricatures. I like them musically. The vocals seem like they're a Peter Gabriel, not sound alike, but actor-singer sort of thing, where it's some sort of dramatic things are being expressed. And I'm not interested. And I've watched many videos of them live where you can see them He does costumes and he's very animated. But it's the music and that sour organ sound that they have, which I think it sounds like a trademark for Ange. Really like that. So just pulled a couple of their albums to show. Caricatures, Philips. They're on the Philips label. Here, this has a great cover. La Cimetière des Harlequins. Des Harlequins. Ange. That's one of those great Prog covers. Let's see what the gatefold is. Ooh, I have to paste. Have to glue this. Did you see that? And really, everyone, Philips, ubiquitous label. One of the huge, super mega giant corporations that makes everything. I'm glad, though, internationally, it's a label that has put out some absolutely classic records of all genres throughout the years. And then this one, another really wonderful cover, Au-delà du délire, Ange. I love that type of artwork. Very, very imaginative. This is a Canadian pressing, as I'm seeing the back here and seeing that white room. Yeah, this is Canadian pressing. Good band. And I dare say they're not obscure, although maybe to some they are. But that I believe that Ange is a well-known prog band in prog listening circles. It was nice to hear from some of you folks in the comments regarding Sandros and some other stuff. So that's what I have to share this morning. And I'm not going to stop saying it. I am so thankful to be back in shape. And as the days roll by and I'm just sitting here in my humble little home, not doing much of anything right, I'm not recording right just yet. I have new material that is in process, but I haven't gotten back to it since I was sick. Just feeling real good. Enjoying the connection that I just feel when I speak. I feel the connection to you people. I do. Okay? And again, I'm going to say exactly what I'm thinking, positive and negative. And so for you folks who continue to get a hold of me with your negative stuff, it's like, y'all don't understand how stupid you sound. You just don't understand. You're fools. And you can't get through because you're wrong. Something's wrong with your soul and your thoughts. Just keep it up. You just show your ass every time I immediately delete that stuff. So a lot of you folks don't see it, but some of you do. Okay? These people are pathetic. It's a beautiful Sunday. I don't like the changeover in daylight savings time. So that's what we did today. We lost an hour. Making the adjustment always kind of sucks. So hope you all are doing okay. Peace to you. Peace to my family. Good luck to you, Kareem, if you see this. I see what's going on with you out there in California. It's like one door opens, another one's trying to shut. Prevail. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay, Kareem. And everyone else, sending you much love. Take care.